Hey everyone, Moms Against Medical Bullying. Ooh, the lighting's kind of dark. I just wanted to make a video to say, hey, what's up? Um, so, just talk about a couple of things. So first off, looking for a job these days is very interesting because there is a lot of spam and scam. I feel like more than before. Years ago, like when, before I graduated college and when I graduated college, I feel like it was as easy as looking in the newspaper. I feel like that's where I found most all my jobs was in the newspaper, which is pretty cool. You can probably still find jobs in the newspaper. I should probably try that. But I've been looking online, and there's so much spam, and you get all these random emails. You don't know if they're scammers or not. It's a lot of foreign, like Indian type names and stuff like that, and it's just really strange. So it's been interesting, to say the least. You really got to kind of be careful because there's a lot of strange stuff. And then there's people who have jobs getting other people jobs. So your job is to help people get jobs. Too many like middle people happening. So yeah, I watched the show Dhamer, which was interesting. That's my genre of like movies and stuff or shows. I like anything like mystery thriller or serial killer type stuff. Like there's another show. I have it on the tip of my tongue, but I forgot what it's called. It's just about the beginning of the psychological profiling for serial killers and stuff like that department within the FBI and stuff. So the show was really interesting. It had that actor in it that played in American Horror Stories, he's really good. I'd say he probably needs some therapy after playing that role, but there we go, we got some better lighting there. But yeah, he did really good. I mean, I guess I've never watched any of Dahmer's interviews, but I still think he played the role pretty well. He was just like very, obviously he was whatever diagnosis you would give somebody like that, like a psychopath. I think he had some covert narc tendencies in there too, because he would act so, I don't know, almost like childlike and innocent with his father. And I almost wondered if it was an act that he put on for his dad or if it was genuine. Kind of creepy. Kind of like, so like for instance, the scene where he finally got arrested and his dad saw him in jail and he goes, "I really messed up this time, huh, Dad?" It was just like so childlike, like acting like he hadn't really understood the gravity of what he had done, It's just interesting. I had somebody that was also watching it and we would kind of discuss back and forth, just, talking about the psychology of it all. And we had just like come to the conclusion that like this person seemed to have killed so many people because he actually, had a passion for it. Like he loved to do what he did, as like twisted as that sounds, because it was really ridiculous. I know this took place, in the 70s into the early 80s I could tell, by the music and the culture within the show, but it was like he got away with so much stuff. Like it was insane. Like in his grandmother's basement, like it was almost like stuff that's just like, it really did seem like covert narcissist-ish, because it was like he had no awareness that like you can't just kill people in people's basements, you know what I mean? Like somebody's gonna find out. He didn't seem to cover his tracks that well. It just seemed that like a lot of the stuff that he did, that was displayed in the show, was almost done like right in the open. And then he did it in an apartment building that he was living in, and it was like, how do you kill people while living next to someone else. Like, that's just absurd. And so the show also displays the disregard that the policeman had for the neighbor lady who was African American. So, you know, the culture during that time, and how people didn't take the neighbor next door seriously because she would call and complain. There were smells and all types of stuff and screams, but nobody ever. How we ended up getting caught in the show is that a victim got away, and it was a young black man, and the cops actually ended up listening. And so Dahmer's stuff was so open. He was so, did not even bother to like really cover his tracks, which I found extra strange, you know. And the cops come with a young man who said, this guy tried to kill me, you know what I'm saying? And so first of all, Dahmer lets the police officers in, and then like they find stuff like right there. Like, he just has everything in his apartment. It's like really disgusting. And he just let them in. Like, it was almost as if he didn't even think like that anything was going to happen. Like, he was that into what he was doing that he didn't even think the cops were going to see anything. I don't know. I don't know what he was thinking, but I'm watching this show like, wow, this is wild. So anyways, because usually I feel like when you watch stuff about serial killers or murderers, they display people that like know how to cover up their tracks, you know. But this guy just did everything out in the open. He really didn't bother to really hide what he was doing. He didn't really hide it. He even got caught at because he liked killing men, because he liked men. So he would go to these places and, you know, I forgot what they were called in the show, but he would take these guys, kind of like a hotel, but not a hotel. It was like a specific place where where gay men would go and stuff. And he'd take these guys there and he'd drug them, you know, like date rape them in a way. But yeah, he'd end up killing them. So he'd drug them and then, you know, kill them, essentially. So, I mean, the show is interesting because it kind of like tries to show you a little bit of what his childhood might have been like. And, like that his mom, like insinuating like different possibilities why this guy could have been like that. Like the mom was on a lot of pills when she was pregnant with him. Just like the mom didn't really show a lot of interest in him as a child. She was more wrapped up in her own emotional issues. The father was gone a lot on business. And then they also display in the show that the parents, they blamed one another, of course, as to why Dahmer turned out the way that he did. And the mom blamed it on the fact that the father used to pick up roadkill with him because he just saw that he was interested in that as a child. So they thought, okay, we'll pick him up and dissect him and, you know, wear gloves, blah, blah, blah. He thought he was doing something educational or what have you for his son. So the mom blamed it on that, like, you know, you did that with him, and that's what spurred this, you know, mental illness in him or whatever. There was also, like, you could tell the producers, like, hint reasons why this guy ended up this way. The father says that the Dahmer was never the same after he had a specific surgery. So kind of insinuating like maybe the anesthesia gave him brain damage of sorts. And anyways, long story short, so Dahmer's in jail, and then he starts to get fan mail, right? And then it made me think, like, I think that if you're put in jail for murdering other people, like you're a serial murderer, like, I don't think that you should have access to mail. Like, fine, you can have visitation, you can eat. Like, they had him sleeping with the light on, too, and I was thinking, boy, I would rather them turn his lights off so he can sleep than him get fan mail. You know what I mean? Because the fan mail fans, right? Fans that like narcissism in him, I feel like. The fan mail just makes him feel like he's somebody, like, oh yeah, I'm the shit, you know? Just let them sleep, because you don't want people not sleeping, because then they go more crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, you don't want somebody have to have a jail full of more insane people, you know? You just let them sleep, turn the lights off, and don't let them get any mail whatsoever. They don't need that, you know? They need social interaction. They get that within the jail, right? I mean, that's the whole part of jail. You're supposed to be isolated from society. So anyways, that's my opinion on fan mail for serial killers. They should not have access to the outside world at all. They shouldn't be able to send mail or receive mail. What else do I have to say about the show? It just amazed me how he went so long without getting caught. But yeah, it just like made me wonder, like, I don't know. I just think that these people, I think they're passionate about what they do, and I think that they believe in what they do. And that's, I feel like that's almost possibly a reason why they get away with this stuff for so long, you know? It's almost as if they're so confident in themselves and what they're doing. Strange. Anyways, if you watched the show, you can leave your comments down below. All right, everyone, take care.